Morning at NTV is the program you're watching this beautiful Friday morning. My name is Rami Busiku, Fred in your midst right now. I do have a pertinent conversation pertaining to the Elgon Half Marathon. The Joshua Cheptegei Development Foundation on the United Nations Development Program, that is UNDP, will bring the Elgon Half Marathon with Joshua Cheptegei back to Mbale. That is on the 1st of November this very year. A sports tourism product set to elevate the profile of Uganda's Elgon region as a world-class tourism destination. To talk to us about this very pertinent half marathon, I do have Emmanuel Njuki, Head of Legal and Corporate Affairs at Nile Breweries. He's not alone. I do have my good brother from Kasese, Jackson Muhindo, Resilience and Climate Justice Coordinator with Oxfam Uganda. Let me start with you, Mr. Muhindo. Talk to us about the vision behind the Elgon Half Marathon. What sets it apart from the other marathons we've been seeing taking center stage here in Uganda?
Thank you, Mr. Basiku. Good morning, viewers. The vision of the Cheptegei Marathon is to restore the ecosystem along the Mount Elgon. The Mount Elgon has been degraded, and we believe that the degradation that's happening on the mountain could be responsible to the emergencies that we are getting in terms of landslides, mudslides, and therefore leading to the loss of the lives of the people. What
are my good people in Mbale, within the Elgon area, doing wrong?
I think what we're doing wrong possibly could be related to our farming activities, but also the environmental degradation, like cutting off trees along the mountain Elgon. Trees have been cut down. You know that the national park authorities have been in arms with community members on trying to conserve Mount Elgon. But because also the community members earn a livelihood from the mountain, so there is that conflict that is existing.
Malewa extraction and so forth.
Yes, extraction of possibly stones, but also the farming activities that are not smart in a way. I think our farming community need to be capacitated on how to do smart agriculture.
Mr. Muhindo, one would think that agriculture can only aid and preserve our ecosystem. What are our people within the Elgon region doing wrong when it comes to agriculture?
In instance, that's what it's supposed to be. But our farming systems for a very long time have contributed to degradation. For example, if I talk about conservation agriculture, we are not supposed to till the land completely.
I see.
Into conservation agriculture. But for us, our farming systems looks at tilling the land completely, sometimes even cutting the trees. If you want to plant beans, you want to clear the land and cut the trees for you to be able to plant the beans. And there you are doing a detriment to the soils, you are doing a detriment to the environment. That's the way we are doing it. And we are not only the Elgon, but along the mountain areas of Uganda. That's what is happening, and that has led to the degradation of the mountain areas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muhindo. We also have Mr. Njuki here joining us on set. He has been talking to us about climate change and also what biodiversity conservation within the Elgon region. But that is not the only campus that this Elgon Half Marathon is looking at. Yeah. There is also the issue of advocating for the elimination of gender-based violence, broadening inclusive and meaningful community participation with the tourism value chain, and diversifying Uganda's tourism offering. Break that down for us, the viewer.
I'll specifically start with the tourism. The mountain Elgon range is a beautiful area.
Indeed, they are.
I mean, it's an ecosystem. The ecosystem is part of that particular. I mean, what provides tourism value.
I'm from Mbale, so I agree.
Wonderful. So we want to use the marathon and Joshua Cheptegei himself, who is internationally renowned, to actually draw attention to the beauty of the region and also contribute to actually more people looking at this area. Now that brings in conservation. That there's no tourism without conservation. As you know, that Uganda's tourism is mostly driven by natural gifts. I mean, the mountain, the CP, the CP falls. 300
bird species within the region.
The mountain animals. And that can only coexist once conservation of their life, I mean, of the places where they live is actually so. But with population explosion, with people increasing in number, then there's going to be the people and animal conflict. And as people grow, the kids mentioned, then they're going to need areas to stay, they're going to need areas where they're going to grow food. And then that means then that there's conflict with animals, but also the ecosystem. The reason why you would ask why then would Nile Breweries be interested? Nile Breweries actually sources crop from the Elgon ranges. In Kapchorwa is where we grow our barley. The barley, yes. Yes, absolutely. So we have farmers there that actually grow barley for our beer. And so we are...
you're supporting our farmers?
Absolutely, yes.
By buying their produce?
By buying their produce. And so this is part of the conversation. Joshua himself is actually one of our farmers. But also we're partnering in supporting sports in Uganda. This particular jersey celebrates the Olympic greats. And so each one of them has actually signed it up. So now especially the beer has been in great partnership with sports in Uganda. Now want to link that to the ecosystems where this crop actually comes from. And so the Elgon Marathon then brings that all together to actually bring attention to the things we need to do, to conservation of the ecosystem, but also to the smart agriculture that is talking about, that you can do all of those sustainably. And then that means that the ecosystem remains, the animals that attract people there and the mountain and the falls remain there, and they bring you more income, but also you're able still to get a livelihood. Because, I mean, the ranges are volcanic, so they are very, very fertile. And it means that people can actually continue growing, earning a lot of income, both from food and from cash crops and from tourism, while conserving the environment. Now, the average person does not see this loop. And so when you get someone like Joshua coming up to bring it all together, it's only fit that we actually support this effort.
It is a win altogether. Absolutely. You get a quality crop by encouraging them to do smart farming.
Absolutely.
The ecosystem is conserved and preserved in that regard.
Yes.
Tourism industry is booming.
Yes.
Indeed, that is a win-win for Nile Breweries and also the people of the Elgon region.
Yes.
Why would UNDP partner with the Joshua Cheptegei Foundation in that regard?
Yeah, the reason...
What prompted the partnership?
Yeah, I think the reason why UNDP and other partners like Oxfam are partnering with Cheptegei because he's talking about a challenge that all of us are seeing in the region and a challenge that all of us are responding to. UNDP has been working in the Elgon to restore the ecosystem of Mount Rwenzori. Oxfam has been in the region to restore the ecosystem in the Mount Rwenzori, but also responding to the emergencies that have been happening because of the degradation of the mountain ecosystem, landslides, mudslides. And so when somebody emerges from the community and yet from the indigenous, that means there is concern from the community members that there is a problem that we need to address.
Indeed.
And we believe that there's no one who will come from UK to come and solve a problem in the Elgon sub-region. It will be the people around the Elgon sub-region working together to make sure that they restore the ecosystem and reduce the emergencies that are happening. So Cheptegei came at the right time when we had these actions that are happening in the region.
Indeed.
Or for example, Oxfam is looking at restoration of about 20 hectares of land within the Elgon sub-region.
Amazing.
Greening. And when Cheptegei program comes in at this time, we think we should be partners and work together to do this restoration. Because we can't do it alone. Like you said, we need each other.
Indeed.
We need Nile Breweries, we need the UNDP, we need other actors for us to be able to come together to make sure that we can restore the mountain ecosystem.
You also did mention broadening and advocating for the elimination of gender-based violence. How does that factor in everything that you're trying to achieve with this Elgon Half Marathon? Emergencies
that happen in the Rwenzori, of course, lead to gender-based violence.
I see.
Because livelihoods are degraded, livelihoods are eroded, and when livelihoods are eroded, there is a challenge.
Poverty creates conflict.
Poverty comes in, and that means the man cannot be able to provide what they are supposed to provide. Or possibly they rely on the women to be able to provide for the household. And if the women have not been able to provide, that's what brings a challenge of conflict. If the man is not able to provide, that brings war in the family. And therefore actions that support restoration, but also looking at livelihood enhancement will be key to reduce gender-based violence in the Elgon sub-region. Yep.
Mr. Njuki, how does incorporating a 2-kilometer half marathon, a 10-kilometer, 5-kilometer run, how does that all alleviate the things we are talking about? Climate action, eliminating gender-based violence, broadening inclusive and meaningful community participation, and also the tourism industry. Absolutely. How does this incorporate and tally?
Well, Joshua is an internationally recognized marathoner, but we don't want to stretch everyone to that level.
How will this all trickle down to us actually amplifying, the need for climate action and also reducing and eliminating gender-based violence using this run?
So behind the run is the Joshua Cheptegei Foundation. And this foundation has solid work on ground to actually do restoration, speak to the communities, make sure that there's coexistence, both not just with nature, but also within the communities. Reducing of conflict within communities, but also with nature.
How would it eliminate this gender-based violence?
So
yes,
the run is, one, drawing attention to the problem, but also mobilizing resources towards the activities that are being done by the foundation to actually restore harmony.
Right.
So the 1 kilometer, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers is actually to make sure that everyone is able to participate in this marathon. One, you get the opportunity to actually show up in Mbale.
Indeed.
And observe the environment, but also be able to possibly participate in some of these activities that happened before and after the marathon. And then that gives us an opportunity to tell the world what the challenge is, but also what we're doing about it as a solution. Yeah. At the end of the day, we need to put resources where the challenge is. And that is what the foundation is about. So the marathon is one of those tools that we are using every year to actually draw attention to the challenge, but also measure ourselves against progress that we have set for this elimination.
So ideally to talk about some of the issues affecting the people within the community as you actually embark on this run, especially gender-based violence. But then there is no model where you go to the communities and engage the community members on this issue beyond the run.
Beyond the run, there are actually activities that have started already with select partners. Oxfam, as an example, is more competent in community mobilization by talking about gender-based violence. Nile Breweries, on this other hand, is more competent around the farming communities, but also the support to sports. So particular partners and sponsors are actually already engaging in activities before the marathon. And after the marathon, the funds collected are actually going to be deployed to a lot of these themes.
I see.
Yes, so there will be post-marathon activities until the next one next year.
I see. Mr. Muhindo, before I let you guys go, several entities have joined. You've seen Uganda Tourism Board. I've also seen the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. What is the potential of this half marathon to Uganda's tourism?
I think the marathon opens up the Elgon to the rest of the world.
Amazing.
Yeah, that we have a lot of things that can happen in the Elgon, and if we conserve the mountain ecosystem, then we will see so many tourists coming in.
We have international participants coming through?
Yes, the international participants are coming in. I can't tell the number, but there are people that have expressed the interest in coming to join the marathon. And so it will be an opening arena to the international community to make sure that they know what is happening in the Elgon sub-region.
November 1st, Romeo Busiku will be there and the entire NTV team to profess history being made at the Elgon Half Marathon, courtesy of the Joshua Cheptegei Foundation. Mr. Muhindo and Mr. Njuki, many thanks for having made the time to speak to us. Thank you.